and welcome back to part 2 of the Love and Light Talk Show. So, in conversation with Shashikala Ananth, we're talking about now a very interesting thing that I have noted. Shashi, I've noticed that the tradition of drawing kolam and rangoli is slowly but surely disappearing. It's sort of being replaced with these stick-on uh, like stickers you put in front of the house. Now, do you feel there is a significance to this art form of applying it every day? And if you could shed more light on this, there's hardly anything online, by the way.
Traditionally, the kolam, I will talk about the kolam first because rangoli is the one which is done with a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
Kolam is only the rice powder. Okay. And the kolam rice is slightly rough.
Mm.
Not too smooth because only then you can actually make it fall in a smooth line. Traditionally, the woman created the kolam outside the house on the ground at the entrance. There are two aspects to it. It's slightly very similar to the idea of the ikebana. Conceptually, I'm saying. Basically, it is to say that you are actually creating a welcoming sort of an expression, self-expression of that family in that home. That is at the psychological level of it. Using rice powder is very critical, but because you're offering something that is a natural substance back to the earth and allowing the ants and the birds to eat it. By the end of the day, it would be gone. So you can't be using things like a chemical or something like that. The idea is not for it to stay, but for it to go. Even in the prayer, if you know the process of the puja, you are actually asking the energies to come into the image, and then you're asking them to go back. You don't hang on to them. They are temporary visitors in your life to give you a certain blessing and a certain prosperity, and then they go back. Yathasthanam pratisthapayami. Go back to where you belong and come to me when I need you. Okay. Similarly, you're offering things to the earth which can be consumed by creatures. Okay. And the idea is to also state to the world what is the nature of that home. For example, on a festive day, it will be a very large kolam. On an ordinary day, it will be very small. If there is a death in the house, it will not be done. So it actually talks about the state of the mind, state of consciousness of the home. Rangoli actually is not done on a daily basis. It is usually done only on festive occasions. It is for celebration. Using color. Just like in Holi and all that. Color is a part of our rituals in India, where you are using nature substance to celebrate the fact of being alive and thanking the environment, thanking nature for your existence. So these are all opportunities for this thankfulness and this celebration.
I love it. When I was in Coimbatore for a year, because I'm actually from Nairobi, Kenya. So it was very, very new for me to see everyday beautiful kolam. And I remember I used to go taking pictures at everyone's houses. Then I went on to a practice, and now I'm able to do it with the dot kolam. I find that and it's therapeutic, in fact.
Absolutely.
Very therapeutic.
And it's also arithmetical, no?
Absolutely.
It's a numerical game.
I think there's something to do with the sacred geometry with kolam too. There's definitely some connection.
Absolutely. And then there are certain kolams which are just one line. You start and you come back to it. It is the endless line. And all of that has a very deep philosophy behind it. You're saying, may this eternal substance be part of my life.
And come full circle. Yeah. I'm telling you, I love everything about our culture. So amazing. So everybody, if you're watching and you do get it, you can do kolam, please go ahead and do it in front of your homes. It's only inviting goodness. And like you said, use real rice flour, a nice grainy rice flour. Okay, so we're going to jump into a little bit on just I know you have you're mastered in Vastu, but you have touched on Ayurveda. So hopefully you can help us with this one. So during the pandemic, because immunity is a huge one, until a vaccine comes in, what can we do to improve our immunity?
There are certain herbs that have been recommended by Ayurveda,
Mm-hmm.
but in your own kitchen, there are things that you can use,
Yep.
like ginger on a daily basis. Taking ginger and creating a decoction with it, what we call kashayam, pepper, ginger, and a little bit of lemon. Add a little honey and drink it every day. Jeera is also very good. Jeera is cumin,
Jiraham.
jeeragam. So that also, when you use in your water, boil your water with a little cumin every day and drink that extract. These are all things which will help in creating immunity
Okay.
within yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
And
Um,
using a lot of Indian herbs in your cooking is very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even how about just chewing even tulsi? Will that do some? Will that help?
Yes. Tulsi, actually, every morning,
Mm.
having a juice made out of tulsi, whatever green leaves that you have. I use pudina. Pudina is mint,
Mm.
and then some amount of uh, kadi patta, karopale,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
curry leaves, then kottamalli, which is your,
Coriander.
I, I think in America you people call it something else, no?
Coriander.
Cilantro.
Yes. Cilantro.
Yeah, all this you can actually make an extract of it every morning and drink it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Do you
these
drink this
actually
every
give you
day?
immunity.
You
Yeah,
drink every day?
yeah, I do this every day. Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
make a
know it's
decoction.
big in US. It's big to drink celery celery juice every day. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's a big trend here.
Mm.
Um.
Celery doesn't grow here, no?
Oh
So
yeah.
we use only that which is locally available.
Hmm.
It's important.
Everything you mentioned is available. Tulsi,
Yeah.
unless you're growing it at home, also again available if
You
you
can get a
really.
powder.
Hmm.
Tulsi, you can get powder.
I'm sure you can.
Extract will be available. You can
Even
add that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
As more and more you natural things, I think it is going to be good for you. Try not to deep fry. Try
yeah,
not to process too much.
yes,
Very lightly cooked food is always better.
yes, true. Do you feel like Ayurvedic medicine can actually help cure COVID-19?
There are medicines that are being given, yeah.
I
But
think
I
it's
don't think you
minute.
should be having it as a preventive.
Mm-hmm.
Have it only when there are, you are ill.
Ill.
I only use Ayurvedic medicine. I don't take allopathy at all. I don't even take headache pills.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
everything
don't trust allopathy.
and you are in pristine health. So there you go.
Yeah.
You,
Reasonably good for a 71-year-old. I'm doing okay.
oh no, you're not okay. You're in phenomenal health. Um, so by the way, in America, we're finally beginning to see turmeric capsules being
Ah,
sold, ghee. So definitely there is that means there is a trend towards accepting Ayurveda. Now, Ayurveda has definitely involved into a holistic system, having an understanding of the psychology, enabling it to maintain and restore health with a few
mm.
side effects, maybe not even none. But allopathy, whose analytic understanding of the physiology leads to mainly to suppression of the symptoms with many side effects. So, what do you think is attributed to this wonderful change? Like, is it? I'm guessing speakers like you are for sure.
I have a feeling it's also because people are very fed up with this formula living that
Mm,
has been pushed onto them. Like, for example, I'll tell you, a lot of the business commercial enterprises are behind many of the myths that are floating around. For example, actually, Ayurveda says after you have crossed 50 or 60, 2 meals a day is enough for you. You don't need breakfast. Go in for, because traditionally my grandmother used to have their lunch at 11:30 and their dinner at 6:30. In between, they just had maybe coffee or a banana or something. That was it. You don't need more than that. So the whole thing of breakfast is the most important meal was pushed by the cereal people, breakfast people, uh, because they wanted to market their products. It's a lie. You don't need breakfast. In fact, a long fast from a 6 o'clock evening dinner to a 12 o'clock next day lunch is good for you. Your system actually cleans out, right? And I think one of the biggest problems in the US is constipation and piles.
Yeah.
Every other person I know has piles,
Yes.
hemorrhoids.
Yep.
It's a huge problem. And half the problem with that is eating very late, eating food which is very heavy, meaty,
Mm.
not giving enough fasting time. So actually there is pressure on your digestive system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to at least fast once a week. Now, of course, they're making it into a fashion statement, but it has to be something that, which is why we do it on a certain day. You say, I'm doing it for the sun, Surya, so you do it on a Sunday. I do it for Saturn, I do it on a Saturday. So you take it up, not just for you, you're offering it to the energies, you see.
Wow.
You're offering it to the angels, if you want to take the Western model.
Right.
You're offering it to something higher than yourself. Then it becomes a part of your life.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's just a fashion statement. You do this today, you'll do something else tomorrow.
Basically, like you're saying, intermittent fasting has become it's
It's just a fashion statement now.
exploded.
How long it will last, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you realize that it is part of another way of looking at life itself, then you will start placing it in your own life rather than imitating somebody because it has become fashionable and so on.
Yes.
It will become a pattern
So,
that I wake up at this time, I eat only this, I don't eat this, I say no when I don't want, I don't use my stomach like a dustbin, you know, all that becomes a conviction.
you're right. I mean, the fast food is a huge problem here. So burgers, fries, like this is a dinner, like, or a lunch that every day. The
Yeah,
amount of oil, and it's people don't realize what they're doing to their bodies.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So then, food, lifestyle, sleep patterns, your work ethic, all that becomes a part of the dharma.
Mm-hmm.
I live with a certain ethic.
Mm.
And the ethic is how I look after the environment, how I take care of my body, what's the nature of the food that I eat, how do I welcome and offer to someone else. Only in America, I have gone into somebody's house and they are guzzling, they don't even offer. Only in America.
True.
It's a crazy thing. Here in India, first thing you would do is Atiti Devo Bhava. Who comes in has to be offered before you can eat.
You'd
All
be
these are part of,
you'd be surprised. Even water, they won't even ask, "Hey, would you like some water to drink?"
yeah, exactly.
Basic. Mm-hmm.
That's the Europe doesn't do it. Europe is actually much much more open to guests and
Yes.
sort of the how do I say, respect for
Hosting,
the guest.
hosting. Even Kenya too, same thing. Very, they will feed you, and even if
Yeah,
you're hungry, they'll produce things which
I
it's.
know. My
I
daughter
can,
lives in Nairobi.
oh, don't tell me.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna take her number from you once.
it
How long
certainly,
how
certainly.
long has she lived in Kenya for?
She's been there for 10, 12 years now.
10, 12 years.
She got married and went there.
Basically, when I moved out, she moved in. Oh, wonderful. Oh my gosh. I'm totally gonna get her number from you. Um, okay, so we're just gonna, oh, I love this one because I saw this actually from one of your talks, and I thought the American viewers, this is a nice way to sort of do a self-test. Okay, so Shashiji, can you please outline 5 steps, or I think there are 4, I'm not sure, but a self-test on how you can gauge where you are in terms of your health?
I'll tell you this as a story.
Mm-hmm.
About 25 years ago, I met a person, an Ayurvedic doctor called Dr. Ram Kumar, who's actually become a very close friend. And then he, of course, 20 years ago, I was much healthier, younger, and 10 times more energetic. So he asked me, Sashi, I just want to do a small test with you to check how healthy you are. So I said, go ahead. So he said, when you get up in the morning, do you feel like getting out of bed? So I said, normally I jump out of bed. Then he said, when you lie down, do you go to sleep immediately or it takes you hours? So I said, I believe my husband keeps complaining. I lie down and I'm snoring in about 5 seconds, and he's so upset. So that's the second one. Then he said, if the food is placed in front of you at a meal, do you feel hungry? So I said, yes. I only eat when I'm hungry. Then he said, in the morning, does your evacuation happen immediately? So I said, I get up, go to the loo, and it's done.
All done.
So he said, Sashi, you are in excellent health.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it's funny when you were saying, when you were, I was answering with you. I was like, yeah, I too, I'm the same. I'll jump into bed, boom, wake up, I jump out of the bed. So it really is, it holds so true. So everybody, please
Absolutely.
go ahead and do a self-test, okay? Because you don't need any 12 million questions, just these 4 things. I love
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
And I'm sure even today you're jumping out of the bed, 100%.
Not jumping, but getting up quite
I
quickly.
love it. You're like, not jumping now, it's a little bit of a move. Oh my goodness. So we've already touched about mental health in America, and I will be linking that. So on how on Chikitsa. I hope I said that
Yeah,
correct. Chikitsa Vaastu.
chikitsa. Yeah.
Yes. So that is definitely a tool that. Um, we talked about intermittent fasting. Yeah. So I think we've pretty much touched on. Yeah, we've touched on everything. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Shashiji, if you want to just say anything else to our viewers here, please go ahead. I feel so much more better. I'm definitely going to go and put a column in front of my house. That's for sure.
I would say the only thing I would say to everybody is find something meaningful in your life pretty early in your life and work towards it. Half the problem with people is that they don't have a meaning.
Yes.
And after you have found a meaning, invest in it. It has to be something that you know is going to be bigger than you. Otherwise, all the trivial little things that are happening in your head take over your life.
Yeah.
The meaning can be because of the environment, children, I want to work with animals, whatever. Let it be something that is not restricted to you and your tastes. Let it be something slightly larger than that. Invest in it, build on it, take it forward.
Yeah.
Because only then you find the energy to be able to cope with difficult times. Otherwise, you just go boom, which is
Yeah.
what is happening the COVID times.
People are
You
going,
just completely collapse.
they're collapsing.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
you
getting
must
out
have
in
a
nature
purpose. You
too.
must have a name. Pardon?
And getting out in nature.
Absolutely. Looking after your body. Body is a precious gift. How do you eat? How do you sleep? How do you exercise?
Everything.
It's very, very important to pay attention to. And what are your relationships like? Are you fostering it? Are you investing in your relationships? Right?
Yeah.
All this is very, very important.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you to the panel for being here. Anybody else, if you want to chime in, just anything that's on your mind, you just want to share quickly. Chandana, we have Shivangi. Anything Sahiti? I see we've got a lot. Anybody else want to
Hari
come in?
Prasad. Hari Prasad's also there.
Where is Hari Prasad?
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
Oh yes, Hari Prasad. Come on. All right, there you are. Hari Prasad, come on. Tell us anything that you want to share.
I could just share something from a perspective of a non-architect who learned with Shashiji. I think for me as a yoga teacher and being part of Ritambara, it's been a great blessing to be associated with Shashiji and Raghuji. Three things comes to my mind. One is the way in which the idea of Vastu and this knowledge is made contemporary for a layman like me to understand. I think that's great. And also, I think Shashi did not mention in this particular interview, but there are also programs she has designed with taking inspiration or ideas from Vastu with yoga. And some of it, as practitioners of yoga, it has been great insight and learning for us to work with them, those frameworks.
Okay.
So the integrative quality of Indic traditions, I think that is something that we've learned with from our learnings with Shashiji. And finally, also, though we are told not to make a role model, I think it's a great way in which we are also learning how to hold this tradition that we are learning and how to carry it forward through both of them. So I think these three things come to
I
mind.
love it. Hari Prasad, if you can share some those links with me so I can put them in the description box, how she's connecting yoga as well. I would love those if you have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it's a framework called Saptasara, and there are few Ritambara programs. Maybe I can share the link.
Please, thank you so much. Anybody else?
I want to add one thing here.
Yes, ma'am.
I think for the American audience and generally people who think and have studied from a very Western education system, which is most of us,
Yeah.
I think many of the concepts that our traditions speak about might seem very alien. Like, for example, ma'am is talking about yoga right now when we're actually discussing about architecture, and then we go to Ayurveda and things like that. So these are like sort of one of the very significant differences. So I wanted to explain about that. So you have a shloka which actually says that if you want to learn sculpture, then you learn dance. If you want to learn dance, then you learn mythology. And so everything is connected. And the Vedic system of thought is a very holistic way of looking at things. So that's something which would be nice for people to understand here. So yeah, so it's a very interesting system and way of looking at things. We cannot actually understand these things fully unless you really immerse yourself into the subject. So that's where I think ma'am is just what she says is very, very just completely precious, everything she says, because she's learned so many different crafts. So yeah, and we are happy to help at Ritambara.
Thank you so much, Inessa, and so precious because she's willing to sort of even share her knowledge. And believe me or not, there's a lot of teachers who don't. They'll give you half, keep half the information. And that's God bless.
Yep. And I also want to add one more thing. So I don't know if you've heard of something called design thinking.
No.
Okay, so I think you can look it up. Maybe few people know about it. It's really popular in like the corporate world where people are looking to innovate and things like that. So one of the main things that people are looking into here is how can we use skills from different individuals, not like I am only a mechanical engineer, I am only a doctor, but how can you look at things in a well-balanced kind of way? So I feel like here the West is catching up and seeing the value of looking at things from a multi-dimensional point of view. So that's what we were doing in our systems as well. So please do look it up.
I'll definitely look it up. Anybody else? Because before we end, I do want Shashiji to do the. Remember, we were talking about ending the show with a sound. Yes, just to leave everybody with a high vibration. Okay, I guess that's it. We'll do that.
Okay.
Shashiji, the floor is yours.
So just close your eyes. Become very very quiet with your breathing. With your exhale, empty your chest, empty your lungs. Long exhale. Slow inhale and let the exhale be very long. After about 6 exhales, seek the blessings of nature, of Mother Nature, and receive the inhale, the in-breath from the Mother, and let it fill you up. Take about 6 breaths, inhale, breath from Mother with her blessings. I'll just do a small Vedic chant and we'll close with that, okay? Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunah Shanno Bhavat Paryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tatvattaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhattaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is a prayer to the energies of the environment and the energies in every part of your body, your eyes, your breath, your shoulders, your feet, and so on. Identifying the inner and the outer simultaneously. Okay?
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining in.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you.